Hello, welcome to another session of a turbo machine class. Today we'll solve one more problem that is related to the third module, that is steam turbines, right? So I have written the problem statement. We will go through the problem statement and we try to solve this problem, right? So the problem statement is something like this. The steam flows through a nozzle with a velocity of 450 meters per second at a direction which is inclined at an angle of 16 degree to wheel tangent. Steam comes out of the moving blade with a velocity of 100 meters per second in the direction of 110 degree with the direction of blade motion. The blades are equiangular and the steam flow rate is 10 kg per second. Find the power developed, then power loss due to friction, then axial thrust, then blade efficiency and blade coefficient, that is CB. CB is the blade coefficient, that is VR2 by VR1 blade coefficient. So we will extract the given data for this. Okay, so steam flows from a nozzle. Steam flows through a nozzle with a velocity of 450 meters per second. So this is V1, right? This is V1. So I will list out the given data here. Okay, so this is V1. So the velocity of the steam at the exit of the nozzle, so that is 450 meters per second. So this is V1. V1 is the absolute velocity of the steam which is coming out of the nozzle and it is about to enter into the turbine, and its direction is 16 degree, that is alpha 1 is 16 degree. This is V1 450 meters per second and alpha 1 direction of the steam, right, that is 16 degree to the wheel tangent. This is alpha 1. Alpha 1 is 16 degree. Next, steam comes out of the moving blade with the velocity of 100 meters per second. So this is V2, the steam which is coming out of the moving blade. So the steam which comes out of the moving blade, so during the exit, so that we call it as V2. So V2 is 100 meters per second, as you can see here. This is 100 meters per second. So the steam which is coming out of the moving blade with the velocity of 100 meters per second in the direction 110 degree with the direction of blade motion. Okay, so this concept, so usually beta 2, what we are taking, beta 2 is equal to that is the not beta 2, it is alpha 2. So alpha 2 is the direction of the steam. Alpha 2 is the direction of the steam at exit, right? And V2 is the velocity of the steam at the exit. So this is the value of alpha 2 dash, it is, we can say alpha 2 dash. So alpha 2 is equal to 180 minus 110. 180 minus 110, as you can see here. So alpha 2 dash is given. Alpha 2 dash is 110 degree, right? So alpha 2 is equal to 180 minus alpha 2 dash. So we'll get alpha 2. So this alpha 2 is the direction of the steam which is coming out of the turbine, and the magnitude of the steam, so magnitude of the velocity at the exit of the steam is, at the exit of the turbine, sorry, at the exit of the turbine is 100 meters per second. So this is the magnitude of the V2, that is 100 meters per second, and angle is 90 degree. Alpha 2 is 70 degree. Alpha 2 is 70 degree. Now the blades are equiangular. So as you can see, the blades are equiangular, so that is nothing but beta 1 is equal to beta 2. So blade angles are equiangular here, and the steam flow rate is given, that is m dot is equal to 10 kg per second. Mass flow rate of the steam is given 10 kg per second. 10 kg per second. So here we need to calculate, as you can see here, we need to calculate power, right? Power developed, then power loss due to friction, so that we call it as PF, P suffix F it is. Then we need to calculate FA, that is axial thrust FA, then blade efficiency, right? Then we need to calculate blade coefficient. So this is CB is blade coefficient, that is VR2 by VR1. VR2 by VR1. Okay, so we try to solve this problem. So as you can see in this problem, the value of U is not given. The value of U is not given anywhere in the problem. So to solve this problem, a different technique is been used here, right? So I will show you that how to draw this, how to draw the velocity triangle and how to solve the problem, right, using these using these given data. So first initially I am going to draw a horizontal line here. So as you can see, so horizontal line. So I am going to draw a horizontal line, right? Horizontal line. Then I will locate point A here. So this is point A. So here in this problem we don't know the value of u, right? So we know the value of v1. So I will consider a scale. So scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 50 meters per second. So scale I have chosen is 1 centimeter is equal to 50 meters per second. So for 450 meters per second, right? So how we are going to calculate the length of v1? So v1 is 450 divided by 50. 50 is the scale. 50 is the scale. So we will get 9 centimeters. So 9 centimeters will be the length of the line v1, and alpha 1 is given, that is alpha 1 is 16 degree. So with an angle alpha 1 16 degree and the length of the v1 as 9 centimeters, you have to draw a line from point A. So I am going to draw this. So from point A, so 16 degree, right? I am going to locate 16 degree, and the length of this v1 is 9 centimeters. So 9 centimeter, I have to draw a line of 9 centimeters at an angle of alpha 1, that is 16 degree. So the length is 9 centimeters, as you can see here. So it is 9 centimeters. I have drawn a line, right? 9 centimeters. So this is alpha 1 is equal to 16 degree. Alpha 1 is equal to 16 degree, and so this is D, point D, and this is v1. This is v1. v1 is equal to 450 meters per second. So if I convert it, the length of the v1 will be 9 centimeter. If I use this scale, 1 centimeter is equal to 50 meters per second. Okay, so from point D, draw a line vertically downward. So from point D, right? So we will get vf1, right? We will get vf1 here. So this is vf1. This is vf1, right? vf1, right? So what is the length of vf1? So we are getting vf1 is equal to 26, you can say, or 27 mm, or 2.7 mm. So 2.7 into 50, 2.7 into 50. So that is the magnitude, that is equal to 135 meters per second. 135 meters per second, right? So we obtained the value of vf1, but we don't know point B, that is the value of u we don't know. Okay, but whereas v2 value we know, and we also know the alpha 2 value. So alpha 2 is 70 degree, and the length of v2 is 100 meters per, that is the magnitude of v2 is 100 meters per second. So angle we also know, that is 70 degree. So from point A, locate angle alpha 2, that is 70 degree, as you can see here. So I am locating angle 70 degree here, 70 degree. So I am going to draw the line, right? I am going to draw the line, right, of sufficient length, okay. So this line indicates, so this is angle alpha 2 is equal to 70 degree. So in the problem this angle is given, this angle, right? This angle is 110 degree, this angle is 110 degree, as you can see here. Whereas this angle is alpha 2, this angle is alpha 2 is 70 degree, alpha 2 is 70 degree. Okay, so this line, the line which is represented here, so this line is v2. So the magnitude of v2 is 100 meters per second, 100 meters per second. So if I want to represent it on the velocity triangle, I have to divide it by scale. So 100 divided by 50, 100 divided by 50 is 2. So the length of this v2 should be 2, right? 2 centimeters. So this is the length of the v2, right? This is length of the v2. So now I am going to draw a vertical line. So as you can see here, so from that, so this is point A, we don't know that till now we don't know this B value, where actually the B point locates. So this is point C, D, and we obtained point E here. So this is point E, right? So from point E, draw a vertical line. So it is 2 centimeters now. It is the length of the, okay, draw one vertical line. So V2 length will be 2 centimeters. Okay, then locate point F here. F, this is point F, right? So we are, so this is V2, okay, this is V2, and this is F. Okay, so this vertical line is VF2, right? So VF2 is equal to, right? So if I measure the VF2, line VF2, I am going to get it somewhere around 1.9 centimeters. It is 1.9 centimeters. Okay, so 1.9 into 50. So I am going to get the magnitude of VF2 is equal to 95 meters per second. 95 meters per second, right? So the length of VF2 is 1.9 centimeters. Okay, now in order to locate point B, right, in order to locate point B, so what I am going to do here, I am going to draw a line, right? That is, we have line EF, we are having the line EF here, as you can see. So I am going to extend this line VF, right, downward, right? So please observe carefully. So what I am going to do here, so from, we are having this line EF, and the length of this line VF is 1.9 centimeter. So I am going to extend this line, EF downward, right, of sufficient length. So I am going to extend it, right? As you can see, I have extended it. So I have extended this line EF. Now with the, so measure this length, right? So make use of compass, measure this, or take the arc, or measure this EF will be 1.9 centimeters. So extend the same length, that is 1.9 centimeters, that is below, right? As you can see here, 1.9 centimeters. So here somewhere, right, 1.9. So I will call this point, as E dash. I will call this as E dash, small e dash, right? So it is reflection of this E, so that's why I am going to call this as E dash. So we have obtained this line, we have extended. What we have done, initially we have drawn this EF line. So length of EF line will be 1.9 centimeters, somewhere around, right? Okay, later on what we have done, we have extended this line EF, right, at the bottom, as you can see. And what we have done, so we have drawn a line, or we have located one point here, as you can see. So here EF is equal to F E dash, right? The length should be, you have to draw such that the length of EF is equal to length of F E dash. So this length and this length should be same. EF is equal to F E dash. So I am going to get one point here. So now join E dash and D. Okay. So now I am going to join E dash and D, right? So by dotted line I am going to join this. So this is point D, right? So I am going to draw a dotted line, right, till it breaks, so this point, right? This is, then I am going to draw a line here, as you can see, right? This is the line. Okay, so this point is nothing but point B, what we have obtained. This point is nothing but point B. Okay, then join B and E, right? So this completes the velocity triangle. Okay, so in the problem it is clearly mentioned beta 1 is equal to beta 2, as you can see. beta 1 is equal to beta 2, and this is beta 1, and this is beta 2. Okay, if you measure the angle values beta 1 and beta 2, you will get same values, right? So beta 1 and beta 2, if I am going to extend that part, so if I measure beta 1 and beta 2, as you can see here, so it is you can see here it is 26 degree. So this line is beta 1 line, so it is 0, 10, 20, 25, 26 degree. So similarly here also 0, 10, 20, 25 and 26 degree. So beta 1 is equal to beta 2, as you can see here in this on the protractor beta. So this condition is automatically satisfied if you draw the velocity triangle in this form, right? So now measure the length of every component, that is because we need to calculate power here. So measure, that is VU1 is equal to, right? So measure it. VU1 is nothing but okay, VU1 is, so AC is nothing but VU1, all of you know this part. So AC is nothing but VU1. So VU1 is how much, how many centimeters? It is 8.7 centimeters. So 8.7, so 8.7 into 50, 8.7 into 50, so it is 435 meters per second, right? And what is the value of VU2? FA is nothing but VU2. So again this is also 7 centimeters, sorry 7 mm or 0.7 centimeters, right? As you can see here, so 0.7 centimeter. So 0.7 into 50, so you will get 35 meters per second, right? So now you please locate all these values on the velocity triangle. So this is measure and multiply with scale, that's all. So this is VU1. So VU1, how much we have obtained? So VU2 is 35, VU2 it is 35 meters per second. So how much, what is the value of VU1? VU1 we have obtained 8.7. so 8.7 into 50, so we'll get 435. VU1 is equal to 435 meters per second. Then now we are going to calculate the value of VR1. VR1 is equal to, similarly VR2 is equal to okay, here also you measure, so you will get VR1 is equal to so you can see here, so I am getting the value of VR1 somewhere around 5.9 centimeters. So 5.9 centimeters means 5.9 into 50, so I will get 295, right? 295 meters per second. Then I will check the value of VR2. So I am getting the value of VR2 is equal to so I am going to get somewhere around 4.4, as you can see 4.4 centimeters. So 4.4 centimeters, so 4.4 into 50, so I will get 220 meters per second, 220 meters per second, right? So already V2 value is given, this is V2, it is 100 meters per second, V2 value is already given. Okay, so this completes the velocity triangle. Okay, so now I'm going to write down the values, angles. So u is also to be calculated. U is equal to, so u is equal to, what is the value of u? U is equal to, the length of AB is nothing but u, so u is equal to how much? So it is, u is equal to, so you can see it is 3.3 centimeters, the value of u. AB is nothing but u, so AB is nothing but u, so the length of AB is 3.3 centimeters. So 3.3 into 50, 3.3 into 50, so I will get 165 u, 165 u meters per second, right? Okay, then so we obtained the value of VR1 is equal to 295 meters per second. So we also obtained VR2 value, we obtained, that is 220 meters per second. Then we obtained VF1 is equal to 135 meters per second. Then we obtained VF2 is equal to 95 meters per second, right? Then VU1 is equal to 435 meters per second. Then VU2 is equal to 35 meters per second, 35 meters per second. Okay, then we have obtained the value of alpha 1 is already given, that is 16 degree. Alpha 2 is equal to how much? It is 70 degree. Alpha 2 is equal to 70 degree, and beta 1 is equal to, beta 2 is equal to 25 degree. So we have obtained it from the velocity triangle, right? So right now we will substitute these values. So there are 5 unknowns, so we need to calculate those. So I have listed the formula here, as you can see. So these are the values of the velocity triangle. So all of you please note down these values which we have obtained, so from this velocity triangle. So this is the velocity triangle, and these are the values which we have obtained. Now we are going to substitute these values in the formulas. Okay, so the very first formula is power. So power is to be calculated here. So as you can see, so I have listed the formulas here. So the very first one is power. So power, how you are going to calculate? With the help of this equation. So power is equal to, right, I will calculate these values. So this is equal to, power is equal to, the first part. So m mass flow rate is given, 10 into u value we have obtained. So what is the value of u? It is 165 into VU1 is 435, and VU2 is 35. So we'll divide by 1000, so we'll get power. So if I calculate this, so we'll get 10 into 165 into bracket 435 plus 35 bracket close, divide by 1000. So we'll get 775.5 meters per, kilowatt. So this is the power developed by the turbine. Okay, so next part is the power loss. As you can see here, so power loss, so to calculate power loss, so this PF, right, power loss due to friction, it is given by m into delta HF, right, m into delta HF, where HF is equal to, delta HF is given by 1 by 2 into bracket VR1 square minus VR2 square into 1 by 1000. So first we'll calculate the value of this delta HF, right, because we know the value of VR1 and VR2 here. Okay, so I will directly do the calculation here, and I will directly write it. So HF is equal to, I am going to do the calculation for this part by substituting these values of VR1 and VR2. So I can go with 1 divided by, right, I will go with VR1 square. VR1 how much we have obtained? It is 295. So 295 square minus 295 square minus 220 square bracket close divided by 2000. So I will get this delta HF is equal to 19.3125 kilowatt, right? So multiply this delta HF by mass flow rate. So here mass flow rate is how much? It is 10. Mass flow rate is, as you can see here, 10 kg per second. So multiply it with 10. Multiply it with 10. So we'll get into 10. So we'll get 193 kilowatt. So I will directly substitute the value here. So 193. So m dot is 10 multiplied by delta HF. Delta HF value we already obtained here. It is 19.3125. So this is equal to 193.125 kilowatt. So this is the power loss, right? This is the power loss due to friction. So second point. So we have this also, we have calculated. This is second answer. So this is first answer, and this is second answer. So then third one, we need to calculate axial thrust. So axial thrust is given by FA. So FA is equal to, right? FA is equal to, so 10 into VF1. VF1 is how much? It is 135 minus VF2. VF2 is 95 newtons. So 10 into bracket 135 minus 95 bracket close. So you'll get 400 newtons. 400 newtons. So this is the value of delta F. That is FA. This is the value of FA. Okay. So better I will show this part to you. So this is the, as you can see, so this is the book values what we have obtained. So this is the velocity triangle that has been drawn here. So this delta VU value, this is delta VU, the distance between peaks E. So this is point E here, as you can see. This is point peaks E and A, horizontal distance between this E and A. So that is delta VU. So the value of delta VU obtained is 466.8, right? So this is the, so you have to make use of the formulas which I have given you. So with those formulas only you can calculate all this. So this GC value is always 1, it is constant GC value what you are seeing here. Okay, so these are the values that we have obtained. All right, these are the, we can say, more accurate values. So we have obtained this. So here you can see delta HF, right? Delta HF is equal to, so we have obtained 19.3, but here it is 18.28. So there is some correction in this values, right? Some correction in these values, right? So this is, these values are more correct values, as you can see here, right? So FA is equal to, again, m into delta VF it is. So GC value is always 1 here, keep it in mind. GC, that is gravitational constant value, it is 1. So m dot into delta VF. So 10 into, so delta VF is the, this is the, as you can see, the vertical distance between point E and A. So this is point A, as you can see, this is point A here. So vertical distance, this is delta VF. Okay. So you are going to get the value of delta VF as 301, right? But what we have solved, we are getting 400. So some error I think has obtained there. So if you draw the velocity triangle properly, so you will get somewhere around 301 Newton. That is axial thrust value. Next part is, so I'm going to show here. So rotor efficiency is given by again this part. So 2u into delta vu. Delta vu is nothing but vu1 plus vu2. As you can see here, vu1 plus vu2. Rotor efficiency is equal to 2u into delta vu. Delta vu is delta vu. Delta vu is equal to vu1 plus vu2. Right. So 2 into 167. Right. The value of u what we have obtained is 165. We have obtained 165 as you can see here. So we have obtained the value of u as 165. This is also considerable, but some marginal error is there, so we'll go with this value. So 2 into 167 into 466.8. 466, the value of delta vu1 plus vu2. So vu1 is how much here? Delta vu is equal to vu1 plus vu2. So vu1 is 435 plus 35, so we are getting 470 meters per second. So whereas these values is 466.8. okay, this is also acceptable, no problem. So divide by v1 square. V1 is already given in the problem, 450 square. So the overall rotor efficiency is 77%. So last one is blade velocity coefficient. So blade velocity coefficient CB is equal to VR2 by VR1. So VR2 value is 222 and VR1 value is 293, and our value is what we have obtained. VR1 is 295. So as you can see, this is VR1 value, this is VR1 value 295. 293 is the correct value. We have obtained is 295. We have obtained is 295, and VR2 is we have obtained 220, and our value is somewhere, our value is 220. The textbook value is 222. So the coefficient of velocity, right, or blade velocity coefficient is 0.758. right. So this is how you have to solve the problem. This is how you have to solve the problem for this. Okay, so thank you one and all for watching this video. Thank you.